They are beginning to see that your silence is a powerful expression of the deep, unspoken emotions you carry, emotions that words could never fully convey. In the quiet space your silence has created, they are finally hearing the depth of your feelings, feelings that have always been there, quietly waiting. Your silence is now a constant reminder of the depth of your emotions, emotions they never truly understood until now. They're starting to realize that your silence was never just a pause, but a profound expression of feelings too deep for words. In the stillness of your silence, they are beginning to find the depth of your love, a love that speaks louder in silence than it ever did in words. They are finally beginning to comprehend that your silence is a powerful reflection of the deep emotions you've kept hidden, emotions that are only now coming to light. Your silence has become a revelation, showing them the depth of your feelings in ways they never expected, leaving them in awe. In every silent moment, they are starting to understand the profound depth of your emotions, emotions that have always been there, just beneath the surface. What they once dismissed as silence, they now see as a deep, profound statement of your true feelings, feelings they never took the time to understand. They're beginning to realize that your silence speaks volumes about the depth of your love, a love that's too deep for words alone. Your silence has become the loudest part of their life, revealing the deep and unspoken emotions you've carried all along. In the quiet of your silence, they are finally beginning to hear the depth of your feelings, feelings that were always there, just waiting to be acknowledged. They are starting to see that your silence is a powerful expression of emotions so deep they can only be felt, not spoken. In the stillness you've created, they are finally beginning to understand the depth of your love, a love that speaks louder in silence than any words could. Your silence is not just an absence of words, but a profound presence of emotion, emotion they are only just starting to grasp. They are beginning to realize that your silence holds a depth of emotion they never knew existed, emotions that are finally coming to light. In every silent moment, they are starting to see the depth of your heart, a heart that speaks more through silence than it ever did through words. Your silence has become a powerful voice in their life, revealing the deep emotions you've kept hidden, emotions that are only now being understood. They're beginning to understand that your silence is not just quiet, but a profound expression of deep, unspoken feelings. In the stillness of your silence, they are finally seeing the depth of your emotions, emotions that have always been there, just waiting to be felt. What they once thought was silence, they now realize is a deep and profound statement of the true depth of your feelings. Your silence has become the loudest expression of your emotions, revealing the depth of your love in ways they never anticipated. In the quiet of your absence, they are beginning to understand the depth of your feelings, feelings that were always there, just unspoken. They are starting to see that your silence is a powerful testament to the depth of your love, a love that speaks louder in silence than it ever did in words. Your silence is not just a pause, but a deep, reflective space filled with unspoken emotions, emotions they are only now beginning to comprehend. They're beginning to realize that your silence is a profound expression of the deep, unspoken emotions you've kept hidden all this time. In the stillness you've created, they are finally starting to see the depth of your heart, a heart that speaks more in silence than in words. Your silence has become a revelation, showing them the depth of your love, a love that's too deep for words alone. In every silent moment, they are starting to understand the profound depth of your emotions, emotions that have always been there, just quietly waiting. What they once dismissed as silence, they now see as a deep and powerful statement of your true feelings, feelings they never took the time to understand. They're beginning to realize that your silence speaks volumes about the depth of your love, a love that's too deep for words. Your silence has become the loudest part of their life, revealing the deep and unspoken emotions you've carried all along. In the quiet of your silence, they are finally beginning to hear the depth of your feelings, feelings that were always there, just waiting to be acknowledged. They are starting to see that your silence is a powerful expression of emotions so deep they can only be felt, not spoken. In the stillness you've created, they are finally beginning to understand the depth of your love, a love that speaks louder in silence than any words could. In the quiet void where words once danced, they are beginning to feel the weight of your silence, realizing it speaks more about your depth than any words ever could. Every moment of silence is a testament to the depth of your feelings, revealing what words could never express. They are finally beginning to understand. Your silence is not a void, but a powerful echo of emotions that they are just now starting to comprehend, realizing the profound impact it carries. In the stillness of your voice, they are starting to see the depth of your emotions, understanding that sometimes silence is the most powerful statement of all. They never imagined that silence could speak so loudly until they felt the absence of your words, realizing now the profound depth of your feelings. The silence you've embraced speaks volumes, revealing a depth of emotion that they are only beginning to understand, and it's leaving them speechless. In the silence that now lingers, they find themselves confronted with the depth of your emotions, a depth they had never considered until now. Every unspoken word is now an echo in their mind, revealing the depth of your thoughts and feelings in ways they never anticipated. Your silence is more telling than any declaration of love, as they start to realize the uncharted depth of emotions that lay beneath it. They once took your words for granted, but now, in the silence, they are discovering the vast ocean of your feelings, far deeper than they ever imagined. Without a single word, you've revealed more about your inner world than you ever did with 1,000 conversations, and now they finally see it. The absence of your voice has left them drowning in the realization of how deeply you felt, a truth they're only just beginning to grasp. Silence has a way of revealing the truth, and in your silence, they find the depth of your feelings impossible to ignore. What they failed to hear in your words, they now understand through your silence, a silence that speaks of emotions too deep for speech. In the emptiness where your words once were, they are now finding the full scope of your feelings, deeper than they ever dared to believe. They never knew the power of silence until yours revealed the depth of your heart, leaving them stunned and reflective. Your silence is like a mirror, reflecting the vast and unspoken emotions within you, emotions they are only just beginning to see. The words you didn't say are now the loudest in their mind, echoing with the depth of emotions they never understood until now. In the quietness of your absence, they are starting to hear the things you never said, realizing the depth of your feelings runs far deeper than they knew. Your silence is not an absence, but a presence, a deep and profound expression of your feelings that they are finally starting to understand. They are beginning to see that your silence is a language all its own, one that speaks of deep, unspoken truths they can no longer ignore. In the stillness of your silence, they find themselves face to face with the true depth of your feelings, feelings they overlooked until now. The silence between you is no longer just quiet. It's filled with the profound emotions they are just now starting to understand. They thought your silence was emptiness, but now they see it as a deep, reflective pool of emotions, revealing more than words ever could. In every silent moment, they are beginning to understand that your silence carries the weight of feelings too deep to express aloud. They're discovering that in your silence lies a depth of emotion they never realized was there, now feeling the full impact of what you didn't say. Your silence is now louder than any words, speaking of emotions that run deep and true, emotions they are only beginning to comprehend. They are finally seeing that your silence was never a void, but a space filled with profound emotions they never took the time to understand. In the absence of your words, they are starting to find the depth of your feelings, feelings that were always there, just unspoken. What they once mistook for indifference, they now realize is the deep silence of your emotions, emotions that speak louder than any words. They are starting to realize that your silence holds more meaning than any spoken words ever could, revealing the depth of your true feelings. Your silence is like a shadow that has followed them, growing darker and more profound as they finally start to understand the depth of your emotions. They are beginning to understand that your silence was never an absence, but a deep reservoir of unspoken emotions waiting to be felt. Every silent pause is now a reflection of your deepest feelings, feelings they never realized ran so deep until now. In the space where your voice once filled the air, they now find the depth of your silence, realizing it was never emptiness, but full of unspoken emotion.